Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whisky. My name is Vin PF, and this is the first episode of a new series dedicated to American whiskey. Now, first off, I'm going to go straight in with probably the one that really was the turning point for me in my kind of bourbon American whiskey education, and I'm still right at the start of it, and that is Four Roses Small Batch. Now, that's a quick overview on bourbon. Now, I'm really new to the kind of genre that is bourbon. As an Englishman, I have mostly access to Scotch, but the UK stocks of bourbon are starting to sort of creep over, and we're getting lots of cool stuff now, and it's getting more and more and more. So it's brilliant for me because I am slowly learning my way around the genre and picking up the rules and regulations, and maybe even starting to get a bit of an appreciation for all the subtleties that are in there. So the reason why I've picked this one, as I said at the top, was that it really was the turning point for me. Until I started drinking this, and I think I had the Bullet beforehand, I really did have a kind of problem with bourbon, thinking it was like Jack Daniels, which is totally wrong because Jack Daniels isn't even a bourbon for a start, but it's just not on the same level as things like this. And I've covered a few bourbons on the channel before, and they've all been kind of basic overviews. So as a quick overview of bourbon itself, if you're new to it like I was, there's a couple of major key things you need to know, and that's that it has to be at least 51% corn. It's usually more than that, but other than that it'll be, this is bourbon by the way, not just American whiskey, that can be kind of different, but we'll go through that when we get to those. So bourbon is at least 51% corn. It's usually more. It has probably a touch of rye and a touch of malted barley in there as well, but they can all be different percentages. It has to be in a new charred American oak barrel, which is another reason why the kind of UK market, Scottish market is, I want to say saturated, but we get lots of cheap second use barrels from America because they can't use them again. Good for our business, but it does mean that a lot of Scotch has that kind of flavour profile from it. And the last one, especially if it's Kentucky bourbon, is that it has to be made in Kentucky. There you go. There's a load of other regulations as well. You can go on Wikipedia and check the rest. It's all to do with what proof, what percentage ABV they put into the cask and what it can be bottled at and things like that. But I won't go into that into too much depth. So, Four Roses. This particular bottling is the small batch, which can be anything from more than one barrel to less than a lot, a bit non-specific, until it's right basically, which is a really good way of doing things. It's bottled at 45%, and this is an EU bottling, so it's 70 sils. But it's made from four of Four Roses recipes. They've got a lot of recipes, and they kind of revolve around the two different mash bills they have and their 5 different yeast strains. I won't go into focus on that, but they're very open about things like that. You can go on their website and see what goes in it and what percentages goes in where. It's really clever. I picked this up in UK Marks and Spencer's for about £27. Didn't know if that was cheap or not at the time. It just seemed cheap in comparison to the Scotch I was buying at the time. But it turns out that it can be cheaper, it can be more expensive over here. I don't know what it goes for in America. I imagine a lot less, especially if you live in Kentucky. But let's get onto the dram itself. And again, please bear in mind, I am a newbie to bourbon American whiskey genre, so I'm not going to go overboard with what I think I smell and taste. You guys know what you can smell and taste with this thing, so let's just go with it. See, straight away, I mean, compared to the things like I was saying before about Jack Daniels, things like that, it's a big thing in the UK, Jack Daniels, mixing it with Coke on a night out. A lot of people can't stand it anymore. Like me personally, I got very drunk on it when I was a younger lad, and now I'm not a big fan of the smell. It makes me want to heave. But this, obviously not even in the same zone as it, nowhere near it. It's so smooth, the kind of corn sweetness comes through. Just a couple of little spices. It's like one of the major things I've discovered since I've started drinking bourbon is that they're so complex, considering they're so kind of young. Especially this one is a Kentucky straight bourbon. I think this is where I'm going to be corrected. I think it's something like 6 years, 9 years and 12 years mixed together. Can't remember exactly, but it's if it's Kentucky straight, it means it has to be aged for at least 2 years, but if it's less than 4, it must have the age statement on it. So you can pretty much guarantee it's got more than 4 years aged in the barrel. So yeah, it's really fruity, lots of goodness from the barrel. I suppose I should say one final thing about bourbon that's a bit key is that they can't add anything else to it apart from what goes into make the spirit in the first place. So everything you see, if you see bourbon on the label, that's just pure barrel, pure barrel. Amazing. Let's go in for a taste. I think the thing that resonated with me about this particular one is just how smooth it is. And it took me a while to realise that it was the corn influence that was kind of getting that. I've had a few ryes in my time and I'm not overly fond of them. I do like a few of them, but I don't rush out for them because I find the rye a bit, not spicy, but it's very harsh, let's say. You're getting that kind of fruity spiciness. I want to say a touch of oranges, very slight touch of oranges at the back there. That could just be stuff coming from my my Scotch history. Yeah, it's absolutely superb. I love this thing, and this is really what made me start wanting to discover bourbon and go out of my way to find the bottles because they're not everywhere. Supermarkets in the UK are becoming more accessible for bourbons. Just today, in fact, I took a nice picture of loads of other stuff that's come up. You should check out my Facebook page if you're interested in seeing that. But yeah, so there you go, there's the opening episode. I'm not sure what order I'm going to do these things in, but this is going to be an 11-part series run over about 6 weeks. Please do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. So it'll be Thursdays and possibly even Mondays if I can get away with it. And it's going to be a good series. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.